Hi guys, we're live. It's that time. It's the Hot Off the Press show. It's your Wednesday evenings Hot Off the Press show on the 7 p.m. I've got Nuri here with me. How you doing, Nuri? You're on mute, mate.
Not bad, mate. You?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. First thing I want everyone to do is hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the subscribe button. Right, let's get this video up to at least 20 likes at least. So you got to be doing that straight away. And yeah, we'll get straight into it. So we'll start off with the Premier League results. And what I'll do is I'll go through the Premier League results at the time. So if I just turn that down, right. So let's go through Premier League results. I think there's games going on in a minute. I think Man City are playing, aren't they?
Yeah, 2-0 at the moment. I believe Man City are winning, and I think Leicester's also winning 2 or 1-0.
Yeah. So if I just bring up, let me try and see Premier League results. What? 2021. Right. So yeah, you got right. So yeah, I'll share the screen to this at a minute. So give me a second. Share that. So these are the results that were this weekend. So Chelsea won quite comfortably 2-0 on Sunday, and I think that was a very good result. Tuchel really sort of, I think, displayed really what Chelsea have been lacking with.
Is it? I mean, no, I'm not sort of like this. This isn't from a sort of rival's point of view. This is sort of like neutral because you see it so many times. You know, is it that new manager bounce? Because I mean, really, the first game which they drew 0-0, I can't remember who it was against now, but it was. Is this the new manager bounce? Is it his style of play? Do you know what I mean? It's just so
I did
hard
see
to
some
tell.
sort of tactical difference with Tuchel, to be fair. I mean, I watched bits of it. I mean, I didn't watch all of it, but I watched bits of it. But
yeah,
there's definitely something there that's not just the players playing for him. I think tactically it was better. I mean, like involving Callum Hudson-Odoi on the pitch, right? As for example, like I said, I can't remember completely the game because I watched bits of it and then watched the rest of it on Match of the Day. So because I was doing my own stream, my match reaction stream.
yeah.
But yeah, we'll definitely see him tonight, like tomorrow, because obviously you're playing Chelsea tomorrow. Do you feel confident on that one?
You know what? I mean, it's good news from what Jose come out and he's I don't know if he's just saying the right things to sort of like please us, but I think from what he has said is what we hoped, that he would make amends with Ali, and he would. I mean, I know definitely Aurier. He's 100% back. Tomorrow. But it's just Ali's still got a slight knock on his injury, so he's not fit. But I mean, as far as if he's going to do it, I mean, why not? I mean, really, we should think about it as like what Arsenal did to them, and Arsenal weren't in the best form.
I swear I sent you the link to it, Manu. If I haven't, just give me a sec and I'll DM it. Just DM you the link quickly. Oh shit. It was above. It was like a few messages above. But I'll send it again anyway, mate. Give me a sec. I'll just send the whole message again, mate. Right, I just sent you it again. So you should the link should be there in that whole message. Right. So yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds positive. I mean, like I said, this is a derby at the end of the day, and you can't you can't ever say what's going to happen in it. I mean, it's one of those things where it can go either way, But obviously, if Joe, I mean, I think what I do agree with what the guys on Football Terrace said is that he is potentially going to go for a draw, and then if he does get on the counter attack where he can get a win, then I think he will. So, but I mean, realistically, I think it could be a draw. And then obviously we've got West Brom on Sunday.
What we'll do is we'll quickly move on. So we're gonna have to quickly move this on anyway. So Leeds beat Leicester 3-1.
That was a very good result.
That was a really good result for them. Liverpool really showed that they're back with a 3-1 win against West Ham. Brighton Hove Albion had the best result of all.
Yep.
I mean, how was it down in the seaside?
Very, very windy. I'm going to blame that one on the rain, like Ty did.
Obviously, Arsenal Man United was a big game on Saturday, and I think me and you mentioned it before. It was pretty much, as much as we bigged it up, it was pretty much going to be a 0-0.
I think it sort of went that way because the more it felt like it was becoming like the Man United Liverpool scenario where everyone was like, "Oh, this has got to win it. They got to win it. They got to win it," and it just ended up being a sort of disappointment. But yeah, I mean, I think it was a better result for Man United rather than yourselves. But yeah, I mean, you should have really won that game.
Yeah, but. Yeah, we'll move on. Newcastle 2, Everton 0. Good result for them. That was a very good result.
Very good. Newcastle, you shouldn't sleep on Newcastle ever, really. I mean, they have got that danger. I mean, sometimes they get absolutely pammed, but you can't sleep on them at all.
Yeah. Crystal Palace 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0.
That was a top result.
Yeah, this winds me up why we didn't beat Wolverhampton, but there you go.
But this is the thing: Crystal Palace can be that bogey team, and they do it over and over again.
They've always been our bogey team at the minute. Yeah. So Manchester City 1, Sheffield United 0. I think that was the difference with Man City between Man United. They've got that mentality to grind out those results. West Brom 2, Fulham 2. That was not a bad game to watch, to be honest. We watched the end of it. It was pretty good.
I didn't see it, to be honest.
But by the time I started watching it, the fun had stopped. And then Southampton 0, Aston Villa 1. So
that was good. I thought Villa might have taken that one, really.
Yeah, because Southampton have got some key injuries there as well.
Yeah.
Connor, hello. And do you know what? Actually, I'm going to throw the link in there. So anyone wants to come on, they can do. So there you go. Links in the chat. And talk, Manu. What do you think of the weekend's football?
Yeah, some interesting results. There's no doubt about that. I mean, the most interesting one for me is, considering all the talk around Everton and Ancelotti, Newcastle doing them 2-0. And obviously the game yesterday for me was it was an absolute disgrace. That decision. I know we've already been through all that, but I still can't get it out of my mind because
I'm trying to forget it, mate. Do you mind?
I know, but I mean, but this is the thing. You see, who's to say that something like that can't happen again and totally scupper either Man United's chances of going on to win it, or Liverpool's, or Manchester City? You know what I mean? Something like that could happen again because, as the games run out, teams get more and more frantic and sort of not desperate, but you know what I mean. And start to, the decision making can become a little bit kind of secondary to the immediate situation that's in front of them. So it's a bit of a crazy one, to be fair. But
I mean, even me as an Arteta, you couldn't put that on Arteta at all. It's just one of those things.
I thought the referee was brilliant. I thought he done it straight down the middle.
Oh, shut up. What do I invite you, seriously? Connor, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Right, what did you make of the weekend's results?
I wasn't shocked particularly by any of them. Looking at it, really, I was quite. It was strange that Man City didn't. I watched a bit of the Man City Sheffield United game, and I feel sorry for Sheffield United a bit because they played actually pretty well. And Man City at home, they're not actually that good at home. I know when Fulham went there, they lost narrowly because, well, the referee gave a really stupid penalty. But Man City at home, they're not as strong as what they are away.
Referees and stupid penalties? Nah.
Yeah, I think, yes, there was a penalty. I think it was a penalty. I think so. Either way, I think he was going to go on to score. But I think it's not Luiz's fault. But he did. I mean, look, it wasn't intentional.
Apparently, the rule says if you actually go in on him, if you went in, actually made a challenge in, you would put a booking.
Yeah, because you tried to go for the ball. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what doesn't make sense to me. We got Bargav now on the. Well, we did have his device now disconnected, but yeah, with that actually, what I'll do is we'll quickly do the starting player of the week, starting 11 of the week. Get that out of the way, and then we can focus on what we really want to focus on this stream, big time. So let me bring this up.
Craig Pawson as the referee for the.
Oh, now which formation do you want to play? 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3?
I think 4-2-3-1. I think because there's number 10 that I. Yeah, I mean, well, I suppose let's see what everyone else thinks. I suppose, yeah.
Yeah,
I was going to say, if you mention Ozil, I'm going to kill you.
He had a pre-assist yesterday.
But yeah, so we got it here. So goalkeeper, not Leno.
Goalkeeper of the week.
It's got to be De Gea, hasn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah,
that.
De Gea.
Yeah.
De Gea.
Yeah, De Gea had a really. I think both. Actually, to be fair, no, because I'm thinking I'm thinking of this weekend, right? Because obviously during the week's games haven't played yet. And actually, both keepers were just as good as each other, to be honest. But I think De Gea probably gets it because there were more, maybe. Could you say more clear-cut chances?
Yeah, probably more saves. If you had to base on that, I mean, both of them were very.
Yeah.
Well,
at one point, everyone thought De Gea was done as well. So, right, he's really turned it around. So De Gea in goal, right back.
What match day is this? What match day are you talking about? 21 or 22?
We're talking about this weekend's game's just gone. This is
okay.
This is like a combined 11 from that week.
But it's not the ones from yesterday, though. It's not.
No. Because we still got Wednesdays. Because this week's basically these set of results. We've still got tonight's games to play yet. So, yeah. So we're doing on the weekend. So right back.
I'm going to say Luke Ayling of Leeds. I think they had a fantastic win on the weekend against Leicester.
Not bad shot.
That's not
superb
bad
going
shot,
forward
actually.
and defensively. So yeah, that would be my right back of the week.
Yeah. There's any other shouts that deserve to go in that slot?
Well, Chelsea's fullbacks both scored and had a good game at that week during that week. So,
I mean, I think you can make a case for Alexander-Arnold as well. I think on the weekend against West Ham, he really has picked that up. So probably one of them two. But I'm going to say Ayling because I think you expect those types of performances from Alexander-Arnold, don't you? So
yeah,
well, no, because Alexander-Arnold really did have a bad few games, didn't he? And a lot of people were questioning him as to whether he was good enough still. So I think it's good for him to sort of take that critic and come back again with a strong, especially against Spurs as well. So I mean, I would put him To be
I mean, I
honest.
think people forget he's still what 21 years old. He's played over 100 games for Liverpool.
He's
captain Liverpool.
He's still extremely young. You know, he's not good.
Still very, very young. He's only like 22, 23.
I wouldn't put any of them in there though.
Where would you put as right back?
I'm putting AWB. Of course I am, bruv. He's been man of the match.
God.
Bro.
No, he was quite poor against United on the weekend, though.
Against who?
Against Arsenal, sorry, against Arsenal.
He got man of the match against Arsenal.
Yeah, but the commentator, well, if
hang on, David Luiz did.
No, Manchester United's man of the match. He got man.
Well, we had to put the MU on there first.
Yeah, fine. Man United's man of the match. He got man of the match, and he played amazingly yesterday.
Oh, that's propaganda. Get out of it,
bro.
No, he's actually right. He's actually right because he put in a lot of crosses and all that.
He was playing really well, but I don't mind if you don't put him in. It's not like
Right. So, Aileen, Arnold, or AWB?
I'm going to say Aileen.
Right. Who's going? Christian.
Steve, can we get Christian in the chat, please? He's I think he's in the background.
Christian.
No, I'm here now.
Okay, sorry.
Never mind.
Christian.
I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna log out and I'll be back in. Yeah.
Yeah. No worries.
I think that's in a bit.
Lingard starts for West Ham.
No,
Christian, what do you think?
AWB.
Bargav, Aileen, AWB, or Arnold?
Let's go with the Leeds one, actually. I'll go with the Leeds player.
Talk Manu, you've got to find. Well, Christian's gone, so that makes it 2-0. So actually,
What about you?
What about me? I can't really judge because I didn't see many of the games apart from the Man United games, so I was busy. But
I think
AWB didn't really impress me that much during that game. No one really did, to be honest.
I should back him. I should back Aaron Wan-Bissaka because I'm a Man United fan, but I have to agree with the other chap who.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think if Aileen probably had because AWB didn't really. He dealt with everything back defensively, but didn't. Someone's gonna have to tell me how to spell Aileen.
AWL, I think, and an ING.
It's AY, isn't it?
Oh, AYL, yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking of Wan-Bissaka for some reason.
AL. Good. There you are. Gotcha. Right. Centre back pairings. Right, centre back.
Luis can actually make this one.
Luis, because he got man of the match in that game. But then, part of me really thinks that's how poor that game was.
Actually,
he did do. Really well. I actually know. Do you know what? I do want to put Luis in there because he was shouting at our squad, pretty much our 11 during that game to be defensively organised. He was actually leading by example. So I'll give him that. So David Luiz. I was going to say if there was a special card for David Luiz, this thing's fixed. Left centre back.
Well, I've got two in mind. Azpilicueta, I think it was superb against Burnley. Scored a goal as well.
Yeah.
And also, I'm going to put Lewis Dunk. Kept the clean sheet against Tottenham. Was superb. Really has picked up.
It's not that difficult against Tottenham, though, is it?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you could put any of their back three. To be honest, either Ben White, Lewis Dunk.
I would go with Azpilicueta because he's come straight in.
Yeah,
he hadn't been playing, and he's come straight in and scored a goal. Good performance, kept the clean sheet. So I'll put Asby, as they call him.
Yeah, solid.
Azpilicueta, and he's a centre back.
Yeah, because they played a back three on the weekend.
So I'll put him as right centre back.
Yeah.
Left back.
Ooh.
Jesus.
Matt Target of Aston Villa comes to mind.
Luke Shaw.
They beat Southampton.
Luke Shaw had a good game.
Yeah, Luke Shaw, brilliant. Luke Shaw. What a player, and I hope he starts in the Euros this summer.
He's still fucking Bell.
I hope you know what you're saying there about I hope we have a Euros this summer. Crikey, O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right, CDMs. Right, CDM.
CDMs. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to
Uh,
say. Let's see.
Partey had a poor game, so I can't go Partey.
Right.
Nah, Fred had Fred had a good game.
How was that? What's the Newcastle's guy's name?
Oh,
Because they won that weekend.
Was that?
oh yeah, because some of Newcastle players have got to get inside. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
because
Isaac
that is
Hayden was one of them, and
Who is
Shelby
it?
as well. Isaac Hayden and Shelby you could put in.
Shelby's.
I don't-
I rate Shelby a lot. He's very underrated. He's always a hard worker. You get at least like a 6, 7 out of 10 out of him.
You're the only one that says that, by the way.
Who?
Most Newcastle fans don't like him.
I
talked
even
to
when he was at Liverpool, he's not probably well talented. Look, he's not desperately talented. By the way, people keep smashing that like button, and
what about what's his name? Phillips at Leeds.
Oh, Atomic
Yeah.
Puppet. I don't know if you are new, but hit that subscribe button if you are. He's come up with some suggestions. Jacques, where's Phil? No, are you trolling? Right, Shaka and Fred.
Are you saying
That's
Phil Jones?
Yeah, Phil Jones. How can Phil Jones get in? He didn't play. Right, Shaka and Fred. Shaka and Fred's good shot.
Xhaka was superb. He was superb, to be honest to him.
I'll go Hayden and Shaka.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's very good. Yeah.
I think when we're doing this, we have to, I think, bear in mind the teams who have done a performance that is kind of made us all go, whoa, well, that's a great result.
I mean, if that's the case, then it has to be. Then you have to put like Brighton, Newcastle, and there's one other game. Well, I mean, I guess like West Brom, Fulham, but that's just like a relegation.
Who did Brighton play in the midfield though? That's the problem.
Brighton, they played. I can check now. Actually, they had. They played 3 in midfield: Basuma, Gross, and McAllister. And McAllister, I think he got an assist. So.
McAllister or Basuma?
Basuma does a lot of the dog work, though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
if we look at that midfield, I think
if you're CDM, you've got to do the dog work.
Yeah. I would put McAllister in because I think.
But, wait, hold on. But I think considering Leeds' result against a supposedly title-chasing team in Leicester, I mean, I know a bit. Yeah.
Left back, doesn't he?
Yeah, no. Yeah. I think Phillips for me.
Phillips. Oh, that rings out a bell because that actually rings a bell.
Yeah, Phillips. I suppose you put him.
Yeah, Phillips.
But
that really does ring a bell with me actually.
Because Leeds did a great job of keeping Leicester sort of quiet really and starved them a little bit, didn't they? So,
like I said, keep throwing your suggestions in. I'm subbed. Are you subbed? Oh, thank you. That does mean a lot.
Actually, just as an idea.
Everyone that's in chat and is subbed, right? Just ask one of your mates. Go check this guy out. Give him a sub. He's trying to reach 1,000. Try and raise money for liver disease. So yeah, just do that. Just one of you, right? Even all of one of you out of 500 will make another 500. So yeah, just go and do that. So, but yeah,
for a future stream idea, like where like middle of the week or whatever would be a great stream. Is understanding Bielsa's tactics because come on, we've got to admit it's on paper it's 4-1-4-1, but it's nothing like that in the game. It just goes.
They press and everyone rotates.
I mean, another shout is Ilkay Gundogan. I hated Man City fans were like raving.
Yeah,
about
the problem is I find with that is like I can't. At the minute with my health, my mentally, if I'm trying to learn something about tactics or learn anything, it goes in one ear and comes out the other. I'll just forget it. So it'd be difficult for me that sort of stream to go that in depth. That's why when people go so in depth about the situation at Arsenal, I can go to a point, but then I'm like, I can't go any further.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's still we all.
Yeah, it's an idea, definitely an idea.
We all learn from each other because obviously there's things that I don't understand. You know, there'll be things that other people don't understand, and it only takes one comment to spark a thought or an idea in your own head. You know, it's the conversation.
Well, the weird thing is like everybody like views it differently. That is with tactics. So like some people view it from like some people love wingers, some people love cams, and they have a different idea of how they should play based on the system. So that's a big part of it too.
Yeah,
so,
I think definitely for a future stream that'd be definitely right. Right midfield.
Right midfield.
Saka. Saka had a good game, did he? No, he was injured, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Pepe. What am I thinking? Pepe
had a good game. If he buried one of those chances, he'd been all right. But he had a good game on against Wolves, though. To be honest, he had a better game against Wolves. What really annoying about that game is we played so well in that 30-40 minutes. We really did. Right midfield.
I'm trying to think who else is a shot.
I can't think of anyone else. I don't know if anyone else can mention someone in the chat that plays on the right midfield. Right? Pepe or Saka. I'm going to share. Yeah, everyone share the stream, right? Because the next topic we're talking about is big, important, right? And we need to share it. We need to get as many people sharing it as possible.
Right midfield.
Oh, no, you should put Salah there actually.
Salah. Oh, yeah, one I think. Steven, you're an idiot. Ooh,
no, it's just I forget all the games sometimes, like so I have to like sit there and think about it.
That's the thing.
I forgot to put Hayden in there, didn't I? So I put Hayden there.
I mean that's a fair one actually. Hayden's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Phillips is pretty fair.
Left midfield.
Right, I've got to make a case for him. Abir Eze scored on the weekend. In a very, and you have to say Palace's team, except from Zaha, they've got no one else. It's him and Eze. And I know we're not counting last night, but he did also get an assist last night. It's someone who don't get talked about enough. And if he was playing in a better team, he would be getting more goals and assists. And I know that for a fact he would.
Are you talking about Eze?
Eze.
Yeah.
No, he's a really good player actually.
He's a really good player. He's a player that don't get talked about enough. And for someone who only cost 16 million. He's a bargain.
What do you think, man?
Yeah, did you know he used to be in Arsenal's academy?
Yeah, and he's an Arsenal fan as well.
What do you think about that, man? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anybody else, but I mean, I'm more tending to think about that. Like I said about the games where they've got a result.
Eze's more of a central attacking midfielder, though.
No, but he always plays on the left for Palace. 4-4-2, don't they play?
Okay.
It depends on the game. Sometimes like he plays. Sometimes when they play 4-4-2, yeah. But sometimes they play 4-3-3, and then he comes inside. Like Zaha pretty much has that left hand.
If anyone's got any other suggestions, please do so. Put it in the comments. But yeah, I'll definitely go with that because he's a good player. He's a very good player.
Is Alan Saint-Maximin in that position?
Yeah, he is. But I think no. I put a Newcastle player. I put Wilson up front.
Oh yeah, that's my that's my target.
Saint-Maximin in. I don't think he did enough to deserve.
Wilson up front.
That's the easy one.
Callum Wilson up front, and then central attacking midfielder.
Matheus Pereira from West Brom. Goal and assist. He ran the game against Fulham. He's an absolute nightmare. Perfect number 10.
Yeah, but Fulham. I watched like the first half of that game. Fulham was like dominant, right? For the first half, basically.
Yeah, Fulham were dominant. Let me see the spelling of his name.
I think in the second half, like they came back. That's when I stopped watching it.
It starts with
P-E-R.
P-E-R-E-I-R-A.
E-I-R-A. Yeah, that's
So
so many different Pereiras. I'm gonna look at. Hang on, club. Club is. Hang on, club's got to be
West Brom.
West Brom. Mark Matthews Pereira. That. Okay.
I like that. I mean, there's a case for some other players to get in there, I suppose.
Yeah, I do think that. But then, like, yeah, I'll go with that, to be honest, because some of them players probably don't get in the team in a week, probably as much as sometimes they should do when they play. So, manager
of the week.
Good question.
Probably Steve Bruce.
I was just going to say that.
Steve Bruce.
I mean, I don't want to hear Bielsa as well because I'm sorry.
No.
It's a fantastic win, but the next week they'll lose.
Yeah, that's the thing. Do you know, I said this to Leeds fans. I know Leeds fans. My neighbour's a Leeds fan, and I said this football that Bielsa plays. Everybody talking about it being champagne football and everything else, but it's so demanding on the players and so taxing. They cannot keep it going.
There was Karen Carney. I don't know. It went big, but Karen Carney said that they're lucky that lockdown happened because I think they'd lost 4 games prior to lockdown when they were in the championship, and it's going to be a downward spiral. And obviously, lockdown hit. They came out of the lockdown. They were superb and got the promotion. But they were saying, if we didn't have a lockdown and we would continue to play, Leeds might not have got promoted. And I genuinely think that because
having said that, if you look at that what happened there in the Championship, but look at their continuing form in the Premier League. If you match that up to the back end of when all that happened and put those results in, would that have still got them over the line where they have got now?
And I don't understand how Man United can beat them. What was it, 6-2, whatever? And
right. So let's get this manager out of the way. So
Graham Potter. I love the way Brighton.
Yeah, fantastic.
Graham Potter.
Yeah. I love the way Brighton plays. Fantastic. He's just if he had some. It'd be interesting to see though. This is the case you see with managers. You see a manager playing great football with sort of average-ish team, but then. Yeah. Would they be able to still push their philosophy and ideas into?
Yeah, that's the problem. You've seen it.
Bigger players.
But you say that like we said that with Moyes before he took over Man United. Look what happened. So, but then I think there's other problems in that. But anyway, I think we can have that. I think we'll have that debate another time because I want to move this on. So, David Gahey in goal, Ayling on the right, Aspilicueta and Luiz in the middle. Bob's is in the chat. Nice to see you, Bob's. I won't do. Don't worry. We'll just mention about the football stuff. If you want to come on and have your say about it, you're more than welcome to. I'd love if you came on and had your say. It'd be an honour to have you on the channel. Right, because I think you're a great guy. So, and doing a lot of good stuff on your channel as well. But anyway, so like I said, we've got, if his computer starts working, Shaw on the left back, Salah's a right winger, Eze's left winger. They've got 2 CDMs of Phillips and Hayden, Pereira in the attacking midfield role, and then Wilson in up top with Graham Potter as the manager of the week. Flop of the week. It's not Leno because it's not during the week. So,
the referee and VAR in the Arsenal game. Flop of the week.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't even give Fernandes a caution, or there's so many decisions. But then that's like there every time. But yeah, like I said, Bob's. It's in the chat. I'll send it again in the chat if you want to come on. It's up to you. So, because I know you probably make a great passionate speech more than I can. So, and I'd love to understand it from another point of view. But yeah, and then saying that, we'll get rid of that and we'll move on because obviously, obviously during the week. We had the Sheffield United game where Sheffield United beat Man U 2-1. When unfortunately the fallout from that was about Martial and Twanzebe, and because of Twanzebe making a mistake and Martial being again poor on form. Not because it shouldn't be because of that at all. It's just there's another racial incident on social media, and it's not right. And then the weekend, Rashford misses a couple of opportunities, and just because he misses a couple of opportunities, he gets it as well. Reece James has now got racism abuse as well. It just seems that now that every time they seem to make a mistake, they go online and they see this, and it's disgusting. It's honestly disgusting, and it's wrong, and it's just. I mean, we could discuss this all day long about what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Or what could be done. But the problem is that there's if for the FA or the UEFA, if there's money on the end of it, they'll do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But they won't do it because there's no money.
This is what I was saying to you. When I was saying to you yesterday about when I getting targeted with targeted ads and everything else, that the social media companies could do a lot more. Even the social media companies could even, bypass the government, so to speak, and say, okay, we understand where this. Because I think these messages that are getting sent, I think a lot of them, if not majority of them, are from people of a younger age.
Keep talking, so I'm just gonna get a drink while you're talking.
Yeah. I think it's the younger generation, in my opinion, because it sounds like petulance, doesn't it? Like if you deny your kid something, they go in a big huff and a puff and start blighting off. And I think a lot of this is, I would say, all right, there's going to be some who are in the older generation, but I think a lot of it is the younger generation I think that they do not seriously understand the consequences of what they're saying. I really don't.
I also think they don't understand that footballers do read the messages. I know sometimes you might send a message to a football player and never read it because, well, you're not a celebrity, you're not important to them, and they probably got better things to do. But there will be something that they see. If they see an emoji or something that's inappropriate or a rude word, they're like, okay, that stands out to them, and they read it. And then, that's where it all starts.
The problem is it's more likely to be picked up as well by these accounts that got more followers. Because what's worse, some people write this stuff and get followers from it.
That's just ridiculous.
It's even worse. How can you get followers for doing something like that? It's sickening. It's just absolutely foul.
I think the question here that we have to ask is, right, do you think it is feasible and actually possible for these companies to, like Twitter and everywhere else, to actually go against what they perceive as the values of a liberal society and say, right, listen, from now on, if you're going to open an account or any existing accounts, you're going to have to back it up with, and again, I've heard people say, I've had this conversation with somebody and they said, yeah, that's all well and good, but who in the government is going to ratify it and say, okay, if they give you that ID from that driving license that they've done on Photoshop after doctoring it and making a false ID, are you going to then go to the government and the government going to then start delving into who is this person and then they're going to verify it? So there's a way around it for that, you see.
Yeah.
So people can fake ID. People fake ID all the time, don't they?
No, I do disagree because I don't think. Hello. Oh yeah. So I disagree in the fact that first of all, like in the US, like that same stuff happens here with the NBA also. It's just not talked about as much. Like some of the NBA players get like the same sort of abuse and whatnot. In the US, I don't think people would want to give up their ID information, because there's a little bit of a skepticism of even like putting your driver's license into like something like Twitter.
But this is the thing, that data should, there are laws to protect that data. But in the end, we don't do something like that, how are we going to stop? How are we going to stop these people just making an account and spreading this?
This is why we have to, from my opinion, right now, we have to leave that, because that'll go around in circles. Because we know, all of us know, that that's probably never going to happen. So the only other alternatives that I can see really are they invest more money in AI that can, when you send that message on your Twitter account, and it goes through a filter, which artificially intelligently scans it, right, for the context of what the message is against any imagery that is in that and wording, right, and then if it gets flagged up from that filter as inappropriate for whatever reason, it doesn't actually get sent to your the person you're intending it for, and it doesn't come up on your end. It just drops down, like room 101. It's gone, and then it'll message you back straight away and say, sorry, that message is, whatever, it can't be sent, blah blah blah. Or if that doesn't happen and they can't do that, it's technologically impossible, then there has to be a massive push for the education of our kids.
Yeah. So okay. So just a quick question. Talk menu. Because you're a lot older than me in this topic. So with like organizations you work in, have there been like incidents of like hacking and stuff like that where data gets like stolen? Like like social, like here we have like social security numbers, and last year there was a big incident in one of the organizations I work for where some of that data was stolen. And then what ends up happening is there's big like cybercrime. That's why I think like with like the ID verification, it won't happen. Now my favorite Premier League footballer is Wilfried Zaha, and he had an incident last year where they tracked a 12-year-old kid. What was the threshold for that? I was trying to understand that incident completely. I guess so. Twitter does have that information, right? Even without giving like an ID verification.
Yeah, actually, do you know what? Something's just popped into my head here. I didn't even think of this. This is, hey, do you know something? What you've just said has just made something come into my head, which is when I joined up with Twitter, which was only a few days ago, because I've never used it before in my life. You have to put in an email address, and a phone number. When you put your phone number in, this is where why don't Twitter, right, with the phone companies, right, get like when next time, when people take out contracts now, in the small print it says, we will share your information with social media companies if for any reason they request that information due to anything, like racism or something serious like that. Then if that account, when it does that, it does what it's done, then they can get that information of who it was.
But the problem is with the the mobile numbers is that there's a reason why, let's say, for example, drug dealers have about 3 or 4 numbers.
Oh yeah, because you can't track it.
You can't track it, so they could quite easily put a number in that they could just get rid of in 5 seconds, because it still pay as you go. So you can just get rid of it in 5 seconds, get another.
Yeah. I see what you mean, but I think not a majority of people, if have a contract phone nowadays, don't they? Because it's so cheap. It's so much cheaper, and you get so many more perks with it rather than pay as you go. But I mean, no, that's just this is the whole point of us having this conversation, is because when somebody says something sparks off in my mind, and then you mention it, and then if people say, I see what you mean, but maybe that won't work. That's great, but then okay, let's move on to the next one, which is what I said before is that
this is the thing. So I think sometimes now it's getting to the point and this is why probably nothing gets done, because if you try trying an error, for example, so like we try that and it don't work, and it costs more money to do the next thing, and it costs more money to do the next thing, then you know what I mean? So you're now paying,
but it shouldn't.
Companies are now paying even more to try these other methods, and they're not going to willing to do that because it's costing extra money for them, or extra followers, or extra people to come online, or you know what I mean. So then this is the point. There's no financial. This is like a financial reward. These people will not. These companies won't do it. They will not do it. I mean, for example, I was speaking to you like behind off stream, right? The same as I have with Bobs, and big up Bobs if he's still in the chat, by the way. And I will share my YouTube channel as it is right now, for example. So I will go to, no, I don't go to originals. I'll go to my channel, right? And this is the banner that you've done for me. Now, everyone keep liking, sharing, share the stream, especially share the stream. Share it as many people as you can, wherever you can. Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Share this now. It needs to get heard. We need to keep pushing it through. So, yeah, share the screen. Oh, I already had it up, but there you go. So yeah, and look, this is what you've done for me. And look, there's my background. So you've got what the charity I'm doing it for. You've got the stuff I'm covering, but this message here, which is what you've got, rise. And I want you to say what that means. Rise means.
It's basically reject it and say enough is enough. You know, it's all right saying when people say, well, yeah, well, just you got to reject it and everything else, but it's that thing. It's like, yeah, but we've been saying that all for ages and ages and ages, but now enough is enough. You know,
enough is enough.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I'm only 18 years old, so I was in the school system only a few years ago. Well, last year I was still in school because sixth form is my school had a sixth form, so I went there, and I don't think it's a problem with education. I think it's anger. Like these people say it when those players make mistakes or they've lost a game. It's not. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
In year 11, I was learning about civil rights, and that was the best topic I've ever learned in history. Right. And I was blown away by how brutal people were treated.
Yeah.
And
do you know what? I'll say on top of that, because my history lessons in high school, the amount of time I did spend in the high school, that is, without being rushed to hospital because I was always rushed to hospital nearly every week, so I didn't get as much high school as everyone else. But one of the topics I covered in history when I chose the subject in my options was about the slave trade. It was about slavery. And he showed a specific film of their transfer to America, right, and colonization and this and that. And I thought it was one of the perfect subjects to learn, because as a white person, you get to see what they've had to go through as a society, and what they're still going through now, right? Yeah. It's still problem now, and for me, I'm never going to understand that because I'm not a black person. I'm not. I might suffer sort of discrimination another way, but not in what they suffer. But that's where now with like these constant scenes that I see in football, right? I want to see what can I do to stop it myself? So if I see it online, do I just go straight off report it? If I see someone come on this and do it, do I stop that? You know what I mean? So
wherever you come across it, you call it out.
Someone draws it out on here. Do I act? What do I do in terms of acting? What needs to be done? Right, so that way I don't make mistakes and things that get called out.
Stephen, that guy who said what he said then about the school thing and everything else, that's great. And obviously we need to learn about history and everything else. However, there is always a different angle and approach you can approach anything with. You know, there is, the term think outside the box. Yeah. Now this is where the better minds than mine need to put their minds together and say, okay, wait a minute, this is a psychological thing, because what he says is, if somebody's gonna, if it's just because somebody's angry, that if they're gonna say a racist comment just because they're angry, that makes it worse. That makes it even worse, because that's like saying, yeah, that's my excuse. I was angry, so I said this, that, and the other to them, thinking, oh, and afterwards it's going to be all right because I can just say, oh no, I was angry. Phew, no chance. There's
loads of times I've been angry. There's loads.
Yeah,
of times
exactly.
I am literally losing my rag and losing the edge. I mean, like William, for example. Say like William comes on the pitch at half time. You see me go mad, right? Because oh my god, what's William doing on the pitch, right? But you never see me slug him off racially.
No,
you never see me do a racial thing.
I think
ever, and that's
also,
that's. Go on, sorry.
You know, you have to think as well. It's not even just racism. When you're talking, when let's say a player's had a bad performance and everyone's slated him, I know there's been several players at QPR who's had to close their Instagram, Twitter accounts because of the abuse they received. It's not being racist, but it's abuse. And mentally it has an effect on them. It isn't just racism, which is, you know, having a mental effect on specific players from certain ethnicities. It's abuse in general.
Yeah, all abuse is not.
I mean, this is, for example, for like, if we're going to take racism and discrimination from a broader perspective, I mentioned maybe to you, Talkman, or to other people before. When I was at high school and I used to get bullied, for example, I got bullied and I just shrugged it off, thinking I can deal with that. But when someone discriminates because you're not well and you're different because you're ill,
yeah,
that hurts, because the one person you want to be is that normal person, and they're discriminating because you're different and you've got no choice in the matter. That's
but can you imagine? This is, do you know what you've just said there? What you just said there is proper bang on, but it goes, that now can tie in with what we were saying before about we have no idea what it is like for somebody who receives the racial abuse, because that's aimed at their whole being, isn't it? That's what it is. That is what it is. People are attacking somebody's whole being, their soul, everything about that person.
Because my whole illness is the whole thing as I am as a person. It's dominated my complete life.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And it, you know,
I don't want to make this about
No, of course not. We know that. Hey, Stephen, you don't need to tell us that. We know that. We understand that. But I'm also then now we have to also now consider the other options that are available on the table here, which is if it's the social media companies, but education at school, but also there is another angle from this, and that is societal. Certain parts of society, you'll find this more. And I know that for a fact. You will find it more in different parts of society. You would and I'll say this now. You will find, in my opinion, I don't know if anybody will agree, but you will find in the more affluent areas of our society, you will not find, you know, hardly any racism. But then in the lower parts of our society, where people are on the breadline and everything else and this, that, and the other, you will find more. Now, what is that? Why is that? What's the psychology behind that? I don't get it.
Well, I actually have to disagree on that one.
Yeah, same.
I think you I think you can find I think you can find it in any place.
Yeah, but even more so in yeah. No,
well, the reason is, like, all right, so I grew up in the U.S. and like being exposed to many different cultures. My school was pretty multicultural, so I think for me it was never a thing growing up. Like, you know, I always felt comfortable with other people. So I have many I have friends in many cultures, and I've seen with regard to racism, it's like one of those things that I've seen many different cultures get it, not just African Americans or like black people in general. I've seen my Jewish friends get it. I've seen myself get it. I've seen I've seen some white people actually get it. I don't know the best way to like say this, because we have different like social dynamics. I mean, some of the words are the same, But what do you like in Britain, for example? You guys have, is it like predominantly black is pretty much like Africans? Like here, it's like we have African Americans. We also have people from Africa. Like how does that work out in Britain?
Well, I think it's a mix. You've got Africans, Caribbeans.
We've got all mixture of different races. This, for example, like since the Second World War, we've had people come from all over the world to help rebuild this country, from all over the empire, for example, and that's why now probably we have such a diverse demographics. In a sense, because we've had so many people all over the world come to this country, and even today people want to come to this country because it's a better life, it's just better. And I've never got a problem with that. I've never got a problem with that at all, never have done.
So I think this is I think this is like an international issue, by the way, but like as a whole, like just
it's
like
a whole global issue. I mean, it's a whole global issue, and I think, like you were just saying, it affects so many people in different ways, and we need to recognize it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a whether it's a societal thing, whether it's an education thing, or anything else. But what we need to try and do here is figure out, what is good, how is it going to change, or is it ever going to change?
No,
that's the question.
The problem you have is, sorry, I'm going to cut in here. The problem you have is it's either from their upbringing.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Where they've been sort of like taught it, because I mean, I've seen so many like American documentaries, regarding the Ku Klux Klan, etc. The way they sort of raise their children, to hate certain people, and then also it could be where, I mean, a person is he or she is perfectly raised, as a model citizen, but then it could be later on in life, say in their teen years, where they start mixing with. I mean, I've seen it personally. Myself, obviously, I'm a foreign British. My parents are Turkish, and my face basically doesn't fit. Obviously, as you can see from the picture, don't exactly look English. So I've seen it where people are like people I know, people that I've considered best friends for decades, many years, and then when they sort of like separate from that pact of where they were. Like a diverse pact, and then when they go into like potentially, white only per se, this example as it is, they change, because it's social. It can be social pressure as well. I mean, social pressure is not just with racism; it can be with other sort of aspects of life as well. So, it's the reason you get the example of what happened previously to one of our good friends is that. If someone could comfortably say it,
don't mention it.
No, I'm not going to. I promise. I just want to say, if someone can comfortably say that word in and amongst that sort of person, or people that aren't of white or whatever skin color, it shows that they don't really give a crap as to who they offend with it. Yeah. So, I mean, I know someone that I held very dear to me. They were a very, very good friend, and they ended up calling me lots of names. And it's like, when you sort of think like, where did you go wrong? What sort of happened?
Yeah.
When you were younger, you were so nice. Everyone. I mean, if you ask any of the parents, say from schools, they're like, oh, he or she was a lovely person. You never think that sort of thing of them, and then it just happens. So, as I said, as far as racism goes. It's never going to go because it's going to be on their upbringing. So if it's not their upbringing, it's going to be the society they live in. And with the way certain countries are trying to divide themselves from minorities of the country, it's only going to get worse because these people are still living and they're going to still keep creating new life, and they're going to obviously train them in the way they think. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I hear that, and I'm just gonna echo this. Is that I think the main thing we need to do there are different connections where people can be like that from their upbringing, right? So in that sense, that some people can just pick up things as they grow up, right? And I think that's where we need to say, like where I said earlier about I learned about the slave trade in high school and stuff.
Yeah.
As much as I like to know about the British Empire and stuff like that, we need to also learn about like what happened in between and how we did to stop it and how we moved forward and how we made that wrong.
I mean, also, what you
I think now is that we need to also, we just need to also now for future generations to show maybe in a PSHE lessons, for example, in high school, is show these racist abuse incidents in football that have not that I think they've now started to stop off the pitch on the pitch. Maybe I'm wrong, and someone could correct me, but it's now more just online that they're getting this abuse, because you remember before there used to be incidents on the pitch. Now it seems to be every time they go on social media. So maybe it's now down to but now maybe it's down to showing that having these lessons to show these incidents and saying this is wrong and this is what you must do this is wrong. This is like we need to be teaching about equality and how about what you do when you see this and you see this happening to someone in front of you, and what you need to do.
But the thing is, they are doing those. I mean, because obviously I'm 34, almost 34 years old, and I still remember from my high school days. You know, they were sort of like diversity weeks, and you know, we had so many like foreign exchange students come in of different creed and color. You know, so it is there. I mean, the tools are there already, but like I said to you, it's just that social pressure could be of where one of their friends might think one way, and they try and get them to. I mean, also, I mean, I wanted to sort of make a point earlier, where it's an upbringing sort of situation. Some people can actually snap out of it. Some people can actually say, you know what, that is not right, and then they do sort of like break away from it. But the thing is with here is, the way we're going to end racism is if we have a situation of where everybody reports it. Because like you said, Stephen, you know, with your situation, you thought, you know what, bollocks it, you know, it's like, it's going to happen. People, I mean, even with me, it got to a point where I was like, you know what, it's just normal, you know, where you're getting called this, that, the other. But if you have, like some people have already done, where they speak up and then the person is put in front of the world. And the thing is, this is with the internet, everyone sees it. Everyone sees stuff from 10 years ago, let alone now. So if it is that situation of where someone is getting abused and it gets addressed by a big following of a channel where they have got a community and a say, and I think a lot of channels should be doing stuff like this, so it is raised, and you know, people can get their stories out there. And if they can get them on there and name and shame them, all the better, really. Because also, like one of the guys said, if someone goes back and that a person goes look for a job, I mean, now, social media-wise, if you go for a job, I don't know what it's like around the world, but in the UK, they actually check your social profiles, like your Facebooks, your Instagrams, anything social media-wise, they will actually check up on you and see what sort of a person you are. So if there is a racist tweet, a racist Instagram post, or a comment that's been made, or they might find your face on another site that you're being told, they're telling you, look, this person's a racist, they will not take you on, So what we're lacking at the moment is that platform for people to be able to say, I have been racist, I've been abused by so-and-so, here is what they said, and it just gets let go. I mean, how many people I know that have been, you know, very racist, and they have actually gone to have big careers. I'm not going to lie to you; they've had big careers. They've had bigger careers than I have. You know, so unless the victim is actually doing something about it, I know it's hard. You know, I've had it myself. I've had it so many times where I just didn't feel like saying it to anyone. I wanted to. I'm that sort of person anyway, that I sort of bottle things up anyways as it is. But the worst, I got told by a friend, it's the worst thing to do. Never bottle it up. Speak to someone, yeah, and get that matter resolved. Because the more you bottle up, the more you keep it inside of you, the more it's going to hurt. The more,
the worse.
And then you might become numb to it. This is it. You might become numb to it, and then you're getting said loads of stuff.
And to be fair, once you see the problem and you see it, with someone else later on, you turn a blind eye to it because you didn't deal with it yourself.
So one thing on this, what's your name, by the way?
Just got a comment here. Glad to see you in the chat. If you haven't subscribe, please. The problem is you can say something racist and not actually be a racist. People mostly just want to say mostly hurtful stuff to you in the moment. What I've noticed, especially in football.
That's true.
It is true. It's true.
If they haven't got an angle to go in at you on, if you're say a role model.
This is it's like I'm saying. For example, like they're going in after they've put a poor performance in.
Yeah.
Because they know if they wouldn't do it if Rashford scored the winning goal in Sheffield United, or scored the winning goal against Arsenal. Sorry, that's when he got it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be talking about Rashford at the minute. We'd just be talking about Martial and Tuanzebe. But if Martial and Tuanzebe didn't do it, we'd be talking about Reece James.
So one thing I wanted to say, all right, so
but it's a good point that you made. Be down onto the players. It should not say this. I'm no way saying this should be because it should be that the fact that the players should be playing better. No, you shouldn't be doing it. That's an end. You shouldn't be doing racism at all. That's an end of it. Right? Whether they play badly or not, you can criticize them, but you never be racially abusive.
But the football side of it, in my opinion, is it's easier to deal with in the football side because I was as I said to you, I think I said to you or to Bits about football clubs should and can and should even make a like a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group or whatever for sections of fans to join, right? And everybody joins up to this group that it basically says, listen, if we hear it, we are not going to stand for it. And also,
what I've even done, I mean, what I've done for this just recently for this channel as well, because this channel already had a Discord server, right? What I've now is I've made an extra sort of section in our Discord server which says hashtag say no to racism. Right, so if there's any videos I'm going to publish out that to do with racism instances, I'm going to put them there, ready. If there's any information people want to do to give advice about what to do when something racist happens, they can post it there. You can also discuss about matters if someone has been racist to you, call it out. So it's a platform there for them. If in our server at least.
But you know what? Again,
and sorry,
Steve. Again, this is going back to social media companies, right? Do you know what?
Again, do you know if they do want that and they do want to have a platform where they can call it out and get us to act on it, say it in the Discord server. I'll be checking it, and then we'll work and do the best thing we can to act on it.
Yeah. But let me just say this. Like when we were having terrorist incidents, and the government would come out and say, "You will not divide us." Yeah. Now the same message.
This should be the same message.
Exactly the same message, right? Whenever this happens,
no one comes out in the government and goes, "You will not divide us." There's never a public statement or anything.
Exactly.
You just get it. All you get is, I mean, like.
It gets reported, but
for example, I'm just put this example. We just had at 6 p.m. right a massive tribute for Sir Captain Tom. Big up him. A bit rest in peace, Captain Tom.
Yeah.
Right. I heard yesterday morning because it was on GMB, not the government calling it out. GMB were
what's GMB?
Good Morning Britain.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. They called it out about. Trolls. and similar things, writing disgusting stuff, not obviously being racist, but writing disgusting stuff about Sir Captain Tom.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's the
my
same,
missus told me
it's the
about
same thing. But I'm saying, if he was and if from an ethnic minority, they'd be racially abusive because these are the same trolls, right? So what I'm saying is that this government or any government will not come out and condemn it straight away like they would do with a terrorist incident. But the only time you'll see it condemned is when you wake up in the morning and hear GMB like say, "Oh, Martial and like I just heard on Monday morning, Rashford's been racially abused on and I hear it on GMB or Sky Sports in the morning." Yeah. And you hear Sky Sports News saying no and no and no and no, but it's like saying Sky Sports News is saying, "Yeah, I'm in for this, all this, I'm in."
Because you know what, if we say right,
you're saying you're in, but it's still happening. What you're doing? If we say as Premier League to act, are you putting pressure on them saying we're not going to host any of your games unless you start acting on it?
Yeah, but also we need to make it clear that listen, like Sky Sports, for example, you know, they should be running awareness adverts.
For Sky Sports, they've got the key as well, because if they decided to go to the Premier League and go, "Oi, if you ain't going to start this, we ain't going to start showing games."
Exactly, yeah.
But
that would mean Premier League will be a light bulb. Boom.
Yeah, but they should be letting people know that look, you're directing this to this singular person, right? But all these millions of people are with this person, and you're not just hurting that person, you're hurting everybody else as well. And we will not stand for it. We'll just won't have it.
Is when I idolize now. Everyone could call me when you watch an F1 stream, and you can see me dressed in my F1 outfit. Right, I am a massive Hamilton fanboy. Massive. One of my biggest fans. One of his biggest fans, right? And I can take people criticizing him, right?
For his driving.
Everyone's perfect. Well, for his driving, if he makes a mistake, or like him as a human being, right? They can come up with logical arguments, and I can accept that because everyone's not perfect. But when I hear sometimes when he's been racially abused, it don't just hurt him; it hurts me as a fan because that's a role model of mine.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like if you have a friend who gets it, that's your friend.
Yeah,
I know plenty of friends of mine that are black and have had it, and it hurts. It hurts me as a friend to see him go through something like that. It's like it hurts my mum to see me go through so much surgery and so much pain. And it may just not be physical pain, but mentally it's pain. It's pain. For me, in sort of that sense, I can't understand it because me as a white man may not ever sort of face it, or maybe not so exposed to it.
But you know, this is what I was getting at about when I was saying about, you know, putting pressure on your social medias, you know, your YouTubes, your everywhere else.
Please, everyone, keep sharing the video as well, and keep bringing your comments in, your questions in. What do you feel about the subject? And yeah, just give us your feelings on it. So carry on.
Yeah, you know, having more awareness. I think this is about more because, you know, we can't forget. This is such a diabolical problem that we can't just forget it. You know, when was the last time somebody mentioned George Floyd? You know, I mean,
they don't mention George Floyd now. They just mention taking a knee.
Yeah, but why are we taking a knee? We cannot forget where taking a knee came from.
Yeah, the thing is, we can't remember. The thing is now is we don't remember what's behind the reasonings of taking a knee. We just recognize that's part of the start of the football game now. Most people think that's just part of a ritual of a football game now. They don't realize that the meaning of it, which is we won't like that. This stand for racial equality.
Yeah, but this is the thing they should be saying. Sorry, pal, I'll let you. They should be saying, because there's going to be kids and younger generation who are like joining this, who are going to be too scared to ask their parents what it is, or just don't want to ask why they're doing that, and they're going to see players taking a knee, and they're not really going to understand why are they doing that. And if they reminded every once in a while, this is why they are taking the knee, because this innocent man, right? This innocent black man was murdered. There's no doubt about that. We all know that, you know.
Oh, he was murdered. He was murdered.
Yeah, and you know, this is why you see all these footballers and the referees and managers in this huge industry taking a knee, but they cannot take their eyes away from that reason of why they're doing it, because otherwise it just becomes about.
This is the thing, and this is where I want to relate it to the F1 as well. Is that the F1, for example, Hamilton set up his own commission. The FIA have given permission for him to set up his own commission to try and meet racial to address racial inequality in the sport, and address and try and make changes so it is more equal for ethnic minorities to get in the sport, because it's a very white male dominated sport, right? And it's not just for white for ethnic minorities, for females as well, to try and get in the sport as well. He's trying to address the issue of inequality in the sport, and they're actually taking steps to do that. They're spending the money to do it.
Yeah,
and that's the difference. Right. This is probably why I like the F1 more than the football, because when it comes to issues like this, they will not do it. And George Joseph Willen, I don't know if I've seen you in the chat before. Leave a smash, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Bob's coming on. I hope he comes on, because he can make a passionate speech, but I don't know if you can message him and see if he wants to come on. Because I have asked.
So one of the big things.
Yeah.
Did you want to ask if he wanted to come on? Because I did ask him earlier when he's in the chat, but
I did tweet as well. I did tweet out the link and everything else.
Yeah, because I think he would have a great say on it.
What was that chat going to say there then? I can't see anybody's name. That's why I have to say that chat.
Oh, what there?
Yeah, no. The guy in the stream in the.
Bargav, yeah.
So one of the things I wanted to say was, what's his name in the Spurs picture? Nuri. Yeah. So what Nuri said was right. Is we're as humans, I think we're like products of three things, right? So we do have like certain like genetic predispositions. Those you can't change, and those get expressed based on the environment that you live in. So and that ends up being a product of like education and how you develop based on your peers. So you can't always change everything, but I think different age groups probably need to be targeted differently also.
Exactly.
Like so one of the things he mentioned was social pressure can people who are raised extremely well, they can end up being they end up doing racial stuff just to like fit into the crowds. That's one thing, and those people can be targeted and become like really good people. There's also another side of this, because you guys are talking about two different issues, and this is the problem I've had, is like differentiating this. There is a form of there is systemic racism, which would be like, you know, policies instituted where one group of people, whichever it is, anywhere is pretty much made in favor of those, and that's like just like laws and stuff like that, housing policies. But there's also like verbal abuse. That's a different type of racism, and both can be targeted in different ways. That's what I was trying to say. So which one are we trying to come up with a solution for today?
This is a great comment, I think.
For all of them.
I think this one's
it's hard to do it because you have to target both of them differently, in my opinion.
I think this one's a good comment here. Racism is a problem for all races. It's something that on social media nobody is called out for it. That's
but I'll come back to that in a second. But let me go back to Vargas.
It's like I'm just saying. You can report it, but nothing gets done.
So we're talking about
people that report stuff like that, and nothing gets done about it. It's accepted.
But Bargas, what you said there, right? Is if you fix one, the other one will fix itself, right? Because but they go hand in hand, don't they? Because if people think that it's okay in these organisations to have systemic racism and have these things in place, then that's obviously then because they think that there's nothing else happening about the social.
I mean, one example stood out to me when I was growing up was the Stephen Lawrence case, and that murder happened before I was born.
That was an absolute.
That went on and on and on, and you could watch back and watch the massive documentary they've done now since, and still, because of it, there's still 2 people out on the loose.
Yeah,
because it wasn't dealt with because of systemic racism.
I mean, how can that when I watched that documentary? I mean, I don't want to swear loads and loads, but honestly,
yeah, you can tell straight away.
We know everybody knows exactly what happened, and in certain circumstances in law, there needs to, it's like when they say the law is an ass, it totally is, because the red tape and nonsense and loopholes. How the feck can there be a loophole when you're talking about somebody's being murdered because of the colour of their skin? That is bullshit. There can be no red tape. There can be no loopholes. Anyway. I'll start raging on about that. I just want
to go back to a point that was made earlier regarding the Black Lives Matter movement and as to why it's not being broadcasted, as to why they're taking the knee. It's because everything become political. Yeah. So I watch. I mean, I've got quite a bit of time on my hands at the moment. I'm without a job at the moment, so I watch people from like both spectrums. Left wing, right wing, centre.
This is why he's miserable, because he watches Spurs all the time.
You're not more miserable at the moment, mate. Fuck off.
Whatever.
But the thing is, I totally agree with the movement. I agree with what they're doing, but some people take it to an extreme. Yeah, and this is why. Yeah. From both sides of the spectrums, Now, I don't believe in left wing, right wing, whatever. Yeah, I believe if you love your country, you love your country. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, etc. Yeah. But the problem what you have is people try and make it political, yeah, and then you get the right wing banging onto the left wing banging onto the right wing, etc. This is why, you can never have a decent like a Black Lives movement, because it's going to offend somebody. Yeah, and this is why you got it. Like a lot of people I hear saying, "Oh, this person got reported because they were this color," and I mean, people in like dramas and stuff. They've been doing things for years where they're saying, a person of this color was reported in the newspaper as being missing or something, and this person wasn't because of his color. So it's always going to be around, because you can't please like football. You can't please everybody.
But the thing is, football. The thing, do you know what? The problem with football is it's like I mentioned with the F1, for example. If there was a specific team in the F1 that was racist, they get banned, thrown out. Right? Millwall still exist.
Yeah, true.
They say it's part. They even make songs of it.
Yeah.
Right.
About songs of what?
About Millwall, how everyone hates them, and we're this. We're Millwall are the most racist club in English football. Facts.
And they have the most foreign players as well.
And and that's the thing. Like they even booed when people took the knee for the Black Lives for the movement. But the same token, you're booing your black players for doing that, and your players are doing that. But if your black player scores the goal, you'll be jumping for joy.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when it happened, right, unlike the Burnley game where something happened during the game and before the game started, and they reported it during the game, they didn't report it until the evening. They was happily keep going on and doing it and didn't pretend nothing happened. And this is the thing, in their culture, they think it's perfectly bloody acceptable, right, to be like that. And this is where I say for Millwall, they should be deleted as a football club. If they think that's acceptable, goodbye, you're good lost. Right?
Well, this is what I was saying before.
Go liquidated. Teams like this still exist.
But Stephen, this is what I was saying before. Sorry. This is what I was saying before, right? About clubs having the power. The clubs have the power to make a difference.
And left wing, that's always been
over.
like, that's just in politics in general. I think America, the more right wing in America, but here you have left wing and you have right wing, right? You have Labour,
more here and central.
So
here
you don't want
more central.
This well, I don't want to get into politics because
no. But what I'm saying is every movement, no matter what it is regarding ethnicity, whether it's an incident that's happened, always comes back to politics. Yeah, and this is why people feel it's okay to support one side and the other, and that's where you get this person, like, it's basically me saying to you, this movement is so bad because, yeah, and then you're like, you know what, it does sound right, and then someone else says something different, like, no, that's not right because I've got told this, yeah. So it's about people. As far as the way you're going to end racism is if a person doesn't have the sort of like pressure of, you know, having to think a certain way, yeah. Because I think we've all been in a situation before where we've said, is that right way of thinking or is it the wrong way of thinking? Yeah, but you go with what the culture says. Yeah, you don't want to lose a bunch of friends because you think differently. Yeah, so until a person starts actually thinking for themselves and saying, I don't believe that's right, I don't believe it's right to do this, yeah, or until it happens to them, you know, until it happens to them where they're attacked for their, you know, ethnicity or whatever it is they are, that's when you'll sort of get the maybe wrong.
Well, this goes back to education. That goes back to education.
I think.
But education does it all. Education gives you the tools you need to learn. They give you it from a central point of view, yeah, for the most neutral side of it, yeah. I mean, it's like in my school, it's sort of different. But for an example, back in the 90s, it was mainly Manchester United, Arsenal, yeah. And a lot of people are saying to me, Nuri, you know, you support Spurs. Why the fuck are you supporting Spurs for? You know, you should be like us. You know, you should be like the Manchester United and Arsenal lot, yeah. But I said to myself, you know what? I'm all right with it. I'm happy with where I am. And I did lose a few. And believe it or not, I actually lost a few friends. Fuck off. We can't be serious here, Stephen. Come on.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. But yeah, so it's that sort of example of where someone's saying you should do this, but no, you should do that. And then a person says, you know what, actually, if I do this, then I get this credit, or I get this lot of friends. Yeah. Or if I do that, then I'll get that certain friends. Yeah. And this is exactly what it's like. And, you know, I mean, it's just a never-ending cycle. And
I have him back in the chat. He's a Tottenham supporter as well, actually. So that's probably why he's been missing the last couple of weeks. And no one would miss that.
I don't go missing. I never go missing. You know me.
No, no, you don't. That's why I take the meat out of you. Mill have scumbags for a fan base and have. Yeah, you can't be said tonight. So I'm just going to break this down because if we carry it, we could go on forever about this, to be honest. If we're gonna, and to be honest, I haven't got the time either because I've got to get up early in the morning. I've got to go to the hospital again. So if we broke it down and just say, what could we do what can we do as like YouTubers or fans or whatever to try and recognize it and call it out and prevent it?
Well, firstly, we have to make sure we keep talking about it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. It has to be a regular.
So anytime these instances, because there's going to be more instances that come about.
Of course, but let's just remember that we can preempt it by continually talking about it. Because if you give people that opportunity to go, all right, well, if I do something now, there's going to be a reaction. That's what they want, is the reaction. Yeah. So if you preempt
this is what I'm saying. I think if you do, like, say, like, get caught and you get called out, like, if people then see that and they're threatened by having that done to them, they won't. Maybe they won't do it. You can't guarantee they won't. They'll probably guarantee you they still will, but there's a chance that they would be swayed not to.
But I think this is also becomes down to a fact and a point of that. Look, as a society, the more and more people that say, "Look, no, we don't want this. We do not want it, and we do not condone it, and we don't want to hear it." Right? The more people that say that, it's going to make that space and that opportunity for these people to do what they do smaller, because they're going to have nowhere to go with it, and they're going to have nowhere to, do these attacks that they do.
Yeah. So one of the things about me is like I tend to be a deep thinker on these things. So I can go that deeply and really quickly. So like for me, sometimes I forget like not everyone has thought about things as deeply as I have thought about them, and so it can be kind of off-putting. I do understand it can be off-putting for some people when. So for example, with any topic, for example, some people tend to stay very surface level, right? And they react to those things. So and it's really hard to like completely get the answer for these things unless you go really deep with things. And there's different topics to this. There's very, like I said, this is such a multifaceted issue. What should happen is there should be about like what we did today is like we kind of understand what the problems are, but each one of them should have its own stream, if that makes sense. And you can create if you want to do it, you want to create a series on this thing. First on, like for example, start off with like what is it? Because I think most people don't know.
Do you know what? Actually, I think that'd be a great idea.
I mean, we thought about that just like from talking with each other, but I think. For me, I've been all over the place because I sometimes forget, like, we all have our own knowledge on this stuff, but and different experiences with it, but we have to, like, just kind of figure out a way to communicate it with each other.
But, yeah, and also, though, there's no point in shutting the door once the horse has bolted, right? There's no point in telling somebody to take their shoes off when they've come in your house and made a stain on your carpet. This is what I'm saying about your YouTubes, your football matches, everywhere else. It has to be a constant reminder. When you're on your way into the football game, almost as if there's somebody's there saying, listen, we're not going to take any racist shit, right? So don't even fucking think about doing it. There's no point in waiting until, you let everybody in, wherever it be, in a stream, in a game, in a bar or whatever, and wait for the incident to happen and then go, oh, wait, you can't do that, fuck off, get out. No, but on the way in, you make it clear, no, listen, we are not going to fucking accept this behaviour. And it makes people think twice because it's like, oh, all right, okay, right.
It's like when you get on a roller coaster and you said you got to be over a certain height, you can't do this, you can't take your hands off this, you can't say that, you know what I mean? You get all the preemption warnings of what to do before you go on this, like the sort of roller coaster ride. It's like the same thing. You can't do this, you can't be racist, you can't say this, you can't say. If you say this will happen to you, you will get done, you will find out, and you will fucked basically.
Okay, let me use an example as something that's recently happened. So Marcus Rashford, had it not been for him as a guy of his stature, of where he plays, etc., would he have got what he asked for with the kids?
Probably not.
Definitely not.
So the thing is, we all have on Instagram, on YouTube, we have our favorite influencers, and you see, the thing is, I see so many people with like they're younger than me, within like their say 18s to 25s, they have got over 300,000 followers. These influencers, if it is brought to light where they are backing the movement and they're, even naming and shaming, to be fair, like the thing is, obviously this is a great channel. Obviously, it hasn't got the following it should have, but obviously it will do sometime. But it's going to be the ones that are higher up the spectrum, the ones that are higher up in the spectrum, as far as over the 100,000 followers marks. They should be making more of a like what TFT did. Call it out. Tell the person who it is, and then they get. And like I said to you, when people go for jobs, social medias and even their names in Google's are searched. Because I actually, when I worked for my last company, I actually got asked to Google someone's name because I put forward an application, and it turned out the guy was a very nasty piece of work. And just by searching someone's name, you can find out a lot about them. Yeah. So until people got to stop staying quiet. And when these influencers start highlighting these situations, because when an influencer says this is good, you're like, you know what? It does actually look good. And, you believe them. Yeah. And you follow them. You sort of try and adapt to how they're doing stuff. Yeah. And if they're raising the everyday issues, yeah, not just around the subject of their Instagram or YouTube channel, it's going to raise more awareness, and people are going to be more aware of what's going wrong, who's doing it, and then that will slowly, once you start seeing, say, I don't know, 50 times or 100 times where people are getting named and shamed, they're like, actually, do I want to get fucked like that? Do you know what I mean? And this is until everyone sort of comes in harmony and says, right, you know what, we're going to name and shame them, and we aren't going to stand for this. Yeah. Maybe it might become boring. I mean, it might be where people going, oh, that's all they keep talking about. But it is until you. The thing is, people can hide, like you said, on the internet. People can hide behind a Man United badge picture or a Tottenham badge picture, or an Arsenal badge picture. They can just hide behind any sort. They can make. I mean, I can make an Instagram of Stephen's face, and I could be an absolute racist bastard. Do you know what I mean? It's just that sort of thing that.
I hope not.
No, obviously not. But I'm just saying, it's that sort of example. I can be anyone I want to be, yeah, and then I won't have to suffer the consequences, yeah. But once these people are caught out, they're called out, etc., yeah, that's when you'll start seeing a decline in this society for racism, I think.
But then also, I think as well is that then when we know what to do with it and we call it out like that, the only person that gets affected in the whole fallout of it is the person who is racist.
Yeah, exactly. And when their lives start, when they start going for job interviews, they're like, "No, sorry, mate," and they keep going.
Yeah,
no,
but
sorry,
what I'm saying is that
mate.
anyone else that was like they're or anything, they don't get dragged into it, or it's the only person that gets called out and exposed because he was acted on is the racist, and that is it.
Yeah. Also, as well, we need to, the younger generation need to understand from influencers. I like what Nori said there; it's bang on. And also, if the influencers make it clear that, look, it's just not cool. It's not cool. Just don't do it. Who wants to, they're not going to do something. Because like I said, I think a lot of the people who do this, I don't think deep down, a majority of them, at least deep down in their heart.
Threat is like, you could do this, but this will screw your life up for life.
Well, yeah. That's it. Exactly. It's not cool, is it? It's going to knock you up. So, if
you won't get a job interview, you won't get this.
But now we're on to that. But as Nori suggested, how do you actually then put them wheels into motion to get that kind of attention from those influencers? Yeah, that's the question.
So that's a good topic actually. Like, how can we communicate it to people?
This is the thing. It's like us. It's all like us saying. Like as YouTubers, like going to each YouTube channel saying like, watch out for this, we're not going to stand for this, put this on your banner or something like this. But it's then taking these ideas and what we're going to do and then forwarding it and making it bigger. So it goes to influencers who then will take, like Marcus Rashford, who can take it to government and say, hey, like a kid, change your policy.
Well, if you look at Terry,
I mean, now I think instance. Hang on, try not to mention the TFT and that. Is just, for example, is that like since the Rashford incident, I heard on that Good Morning program when I heard about it, they were going to rush through an online harms bill sort of thing, which is like sort of to cover it. But again, it's not like the punishments are shit. Right? It's not it's not like you do this, your life's screwed. It's like those, you pay a small fine or something.
Yeah, but also because you know as well as I do.
You do this, we'll find you and jail you for 2 years, 3 years. Most of these people will not do that.
No, but there also has to be that opportunity for people who you think that have genuinely just made a terrible mistake.
Because then,
a chance to redeem themselves.
What I'm saying is that during that time, they could then like rehabilitation, sort of thing. So they could be contacted by a psychologist and this, that, and all the other, and say like, this is wrong. This is why this thought came into my head, or something like that, and you rehabilitate people to then, so when they get released back into society, they don't do it again, and they're a completely different person.
That's ifs, buts, and maybes. I think.
But again, it's if, buts, and maybes.
Yeah.
But if we're supposed to be like trying to be a society that wants to like not only suit, because like you just said, there could be ones that make silly mistakes, right? And there's one that are blatant, just blatant.
Yeah.
But how can it be a silly mistake? Like you said, Stephen, as an example of the Willian thing, I know we're sort of tracking back, but if even in a moment of rage, and you were raging that day, I'm not going to sort of like butter it up and thing. You were raging that day when Willian came on. You didn't think to say, oh, this and that because of his ethnicity. Yeah. So I've been in that situation where I've been absolutely, peed off to the top. Like I've been literally working. I think one year I worked about 24 hours every day for about 5 days. Yeah, and you get tired. You get absolutely knackered. You get angry. You get sort of like.
If I had more enkelopathy, if I had more enkelopathy in my brain, I could have well have done that. And the thing is, with enkelopathy, no one understands it unless you got it.
But
right?
The thing is, you don't.
And if no one's ever experienced what enkelopathy is, I'm telling you, right, it could fuck your brain up. I'm telling you, it could fuck your brain up. It make you think things that you don't ever dream of, right? Yeah. So I could quite easily sit there and come out with that silly remark, right? Because, like, my enkelopathy was causing it. If you see what I mean. It's ads. How are you?
I'm good, bro. Yeah.
We're gonna wrap this up pretty soon anyway, because like I was gonna have to go to the hospital in the morning. But just give me your views, like for example.
I just want to say one thing though. Like to anyone who does have enkelopathy or anything like that, you can say something though, but like they're just gonna like, doesn't matter what you say or what's wrong with you. If you say something that's outlandish, rude, and offensive, that's not right for one. Yes, you might have an excuse, but towards other people, there's not going to be an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and for example, this is why I don't understand.
I'm not saying that's ever an excuse, by the way. I'm not ever saying that's it.
No, of course not.
Straight out there. It's still completely wrong. You don't do it, and it's an end of it.
Yeah, no, man, it's all good. But yeah, to anyone who hasn't scored 9 goals in the Premier League, make sure to just remember Man United have done that. Thanks.
Twice.
I told you, like the thing is, people give Ferguson praise for doing this, but who's in charge yesterday? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, it has to work both ways.
Yeah, that give him praise for that, definitely. But yeah, and I think on that note, I think we'll end it there for now. Thanks to everyone who's been in the chat and left their comments through. It's been a great sort of talk. I think it's sort of been a starting point as well, what we could do. So, yeah, big up to everyone who's come on. Connor was on, Bargav, Nui, talk menu, ads, last minute, just to cheer us all up, won't make this feel even worse.
Take time with it.
Hey, he's on camera. Hey,
look, dude.
Hey,
listen, I got my hair done today.
Look, he's on camera now. He's
hey.
on camera.
Where'd you get your hair done? Where did you get your hair done?
No, I just had a little trim, and obviously I was just kind of like, I could go.
I was going to say, where you been?
Do you know what? I just wish I could have carry off different kind of haircuts, but I can't. I have one haircut, and that is me. That's it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, I hear that, man. I hear that, bro. I hear that, man. It's a madness, but I was trying to let me just go for an Afro hawk, innit? Like, I was just kind of like, fuck it. And then obviously I'm gonna get my sides shaved in the next few days, so it will just stand out a little bit more.
Mine is literally so it doesn't come over my ears.
Pull up the last comment, Steve.
What? Last comment?
Yeah.
Ads came in and ruined the thing.
And just put that? That's outrageous. See?
No, I was being realistic with it, man. I was being realistic with it.
But then again, Nui comes in at the start, so it's completely screwed already. Yeah, see, look, he's showing that. So I don't even have to wear my gear to know I'm better than you. So I don't even go there.
Mind the gap, yeah? Mind the gap.
What gap? It's 2 points. It's only a point. Okay, get out of yourself.
You're 10th, we're 6th. Know your place. Wanker.
How many trophies in
how
many years?
History merchant right here. History merchant. You can't.
Who won the FA Cup last year? Let's go. Come on then. Go on then. Last time win trophies. Who won it last year?
We're winning the according to Prime. We're winning the Carabao and the Europa Cup this year. So,
according to some of your fans, you're winning the quadruple. Or no, UFA screwed you up.
Screw that guy. Right, my battery's low. I'm going to kick.
No, let's talk about recent history. Let's talk about recent history. Let's talk about recent history. Yeah, recent history. When was the last time a team scored 9 goals other than Man United and Leicester in the league?
Yeah, all right.
Tottenham against Wigan.
When was that?
Oi, you played Marine and you couldn't even do it.
When was it we played? Was it 2016?
Was it 12-13?
No, I think it was after that. I have to double check it, but I'm pretty sure it was after that one. But
you go check.
Arsenal's never done it.
I look at the scores. Has anybody seen the scores?
Holding 8 from Man United.
Yeah, no, I know the scores. What is the scores?
Also, if you don't want to know the scores, turn away now. But anyway, we know that the Burnley match was City won 2-0, Leicester won 2-0. It's currently 2-1 to Everton against Leeds, 60 minutes. But for me, the Brighton-Liverpool game at 36 minutes, still 0-0.
Bloody hell.
They'll be all right. They'll score. Liverpool will probably score that.
Well,
right.
I won't. See you later, Nuri, mate.
Take care,
yeah, right. Take care. We'll end it there anyway. But thanks to everyone that's tuned in. We'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow. I've got the Liver Awareness Show, actually. I haven't done that this week. So I've got that Liver Awareness Show next week. Hopefully get Red Devil Studio. Right. Hopefully not call him Dr. Devil, but Red Devil Studio will be coming in. Hopefully you can get a doctor in where we have a nice discussion, which will be good. And hopefully all you could join in as well and join in on that chat as well. So yeah. But anyway, great discussion, great debate, good starting point, but we need to keep pushing that through, and that's the main thing. So, respect everyone, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.
Yeah, ciao.